I like to say that I'm a person with a very big chip on his shoulder. And the reason I say that is I feel like there was this invisible enemy that I was fighting for many years, my entire adult life, until I figured out how this stuff works. He kept preventing me from achieving my goals, right? And those battles were sometimes people, like I was in corporations and you get into political fights or you're competing against someone. But sometimes it was just like, not people, but just other types of challenges in your life that I think that if I'd understood these biomechanics earlier, I would have won more of them. And I want to kind of dive into this because I think it's an important philosophical part of your healing journey, right? So when I was young, right, when I was in like high school, I worked really hard in sports. I played basketball and lacrosse, but I was only ever average, yet I loved basketball and I was the guy that was just practicing all the time, working much harder than, anyone else that I remember on the team. And I got onto my, junior varsity and varsity basketball team. But I was like the guy that like, they let on to the court like near the end of the game when it's over. It kind of ate at me that these like other kids who put a lot less effort and were just much better athletes, but didn't have the kind of drive that I had would easily beat me. Back then, you just put it off the talent. Now, I think if I understood biomechanics and had the right biomechanics, like I think I would have easily competed much better. This kind of played out throughout my adult life. I went to college, like similar things happened. Yeah. I didn't necessarily play sports, but other type things, forgetting grades and things happen. And then when I was started working for sure, my first job or two, I definitely saw how like I wanted to excel and be this high performer. And I had the drive and I feel like I had the intelligence. Yeah, but other people just did it easier, right? Like they were better communicators. They got the opportunities that maybe I wanted. And you're really frustrating, It's like, yeah, I started life with these high expectations and then I just felt like I was getting beaten down to be average, right? And I wasn't a person that was gonna accept average, but when you get hammered down enough, you kind of have to learn to accept it. These battles continued through my 20s and 30s, and I got into like, I remember I was in this one office where I was working for a pretty big company, and I felt like I was much harder worker and smarter than the people that were there, and it was like a big political kind of game in the office. I had big aspirations for how I was going to move up in this company, and it just didn't really pan out the way I wanted. Mainly because like these political forces got the best of me and I just wasn't good at it, right? And I kind of put it as, all right, like I'm not the guy that's good at that. But now I kind of view it as, okay, like, it's not rocket science to be good at that political games. Like it's all about creating relationships, and relationships are built on a foundation which is healthy neurology. You get your healthy neurology and you can compete. And that kind of happened a few times in my career where I feel like I had a plateau that frustrated me, right? And I would see other people that I feel like I had more drive than them and they would shoot past and they almost made it look effortless and it would really eat at me. And a lot of that time, because in my 20s and 30s, I was having a lot of neck and back issues and having trouble kind of like being tired a lot. And I was always going to the doctor and trying to figure this thing out. And it was draining a lot of my energy, draining all this, some of my mood and my ambition. I think by my mid 30s, I just came to kind of accept it. Yeah, I'm 48. Now I understand how these biomechanics work and I'm coming back and little by little and work is easy, like these things that I thought were challenges before, like I'm easily achieving, I run my own company and things are going relatively well. And I think that I would easily have won some of those battles that I lost before in my current condition, even though I'm older and, theoretically, like I should be worse, but in fact, like I feel a lot stronger and more of it's like, it's just a mental game. Like I'm mentally much tougher and I just have more energy and I feel like I handle situations much better. And I didn't make any effort for that. Like I didn't sit in classes learning. Like I don't think it was based on, getting more experience. It was literally just these biomechanics and getting healthier. And now I think about like those times when I was really frustrated and I kind of lost the battle. Like I want to fight those battles again. Like I remember them and they kind of eat at me, right? Like they are my invisible enemy that I lost these battles. And I remember some of the faces of people that I was competing against and they drive me, right? Like I'm just that kind of person. Like I remember that and it drives me. It's like Michael Jordan, you know, like Michael Jordan would determine who was going to be his enemy that day that he was going to beat. And then that would be part of his motivation of how he was going to win that game, right? And I'm a little bit similar. Like I remember some of the faces, and like I want to compete against them again, even though like I'm playing a different game now and I do my own thing. So I'm not literally going to compete against them again, but like they all kind of add to this drive that I feel. And I feel like if they saw me now, I kind of like I almost envision it, right? Like they kind of like we're like two gladiators in the arena, and they see me and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna beat this guy Ken again." The first kind of like scuffling this, they realize, "Oh wow, like he's not giving in." And then like what they're gonna realize about me is like I just keep coming now. Like I don't tire, right? Like I can just work and I have this energy and like my emotional, like I handle the emotional part a lot more even now. And they would just see like this is a very different enemy now. This is an enemy who just doesn't tire. Like you slash him and he just comes back twice as hard. Like that is the beast that I feel like now because of this. And I'm not even done. And I think it's amazing, right? Like I've been those two different people and I've been many people in between. And I can tell you, like, it is a very different. And with this new kind of mindset and new way of operating, I like to say that I'm coming for Rome, meaning like my ambition is to prove to myself, you know, what I could always do. Right. And I hope that works out. Right. But I'm like, even if it doesn't, like, I just feel like I'm just going to keep coming. Right. And I have the health, the energy, the drive to do it. And that's like, I love the game more than anything else. Like, I just love playing this game. And little by little, I think the results are gonna come. Some final thoughts as you're thinking about where you are, right? Like you've probably struggled. You know, if you've struggled for a long time and it could have like knocked you down, and you set much lower expectations in life. But I think the power of these biomechanics, right? And like this is why like this stuff is so much more important to me than the aesthetic part. Like the aesthetics will come as well. You'll look like a better person, a healthier person, but it is this drive that comes back, right? The same kind of drive you had when you were in your early 20s and you wanted to achieve everything in life. Like I feel like you get that back with this. And that is amazing, right? Like that is an amazing feeling to have at 48 years old. And I hope that because of Revive, a lot of people get that back, and I think it's going to be a very powerful thing.